Ming, we're live.
Hello, Ching. Good to see you.
Great to see you. Oh my God, long time no see. When was the last time I saw you?
Well, I thought that's in Iowa City or on the
I
farm.
yes, Iowa City, January, either 5 or 6
2020.
or 7, 8. January 2020.
One pandemic ago.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Amazing. Great to see you.
Yes, it's good to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being on my show. And this is a Ching Juhl. I'm a filmmaker, and I host this. It's called a live interview with someone special. And you are, I think, my 180 some episodes since
Wow,
2 years ago. Yeah,
that's a lucky number.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So tell me, where are you right now?
I'm in Marathon County, Ginseng, capital of America, which is in central Wisconsin.
Wow, wow, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm in New York City in Manhattan. So tell me a little bit about I have your biography, right? Your biography is in the description below so people can read it. And but I want you to tell us a little bit story about how you are a PhD researcher, medical researcher, and then eventually became a ginseng farmer. How
By
that
choice.
journey.
Yes, it has been a long journey in a sense. I originally came from China in 1988 to Canada for my graduate studies. I was a trained cardiologist of all things. Got my PhD in physiology, the study of human function, from University of Western Ontario, located in London, Ontario, not in London, UK. So after my graduate school, spent a few years in Toronto, University of Toronto, doing research on the heart, and then moved to where else? Madison, Wisconsin, the capital of state of Wisconsin. Joined the physiology program in there. First as a research scientist, later on moved on to Medical College of Wisconsin as a research assistant professor. Uh, and then in 2009, my wife, who was or is a physician, decided to move to Marathon County, Wisconsin, to practice. So I switched my career track from a research scientist to a ginseng farmer of all kind of farmers, right? As a Chinese American, we say we love two things in the U.S: an Ivy school and a ginseng. So I'm trying to do one thing right. Here I am today, 13 years and counting.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, now that's quite a big switch from being a researcher, being a PhD, to become a farmer. Did you have to learn everything from the scratch? Like, I think of being a farmer in my limited education when we will grow up, you understand you have to be hands on, you have to farm, you have to work with the soil, and you have to know the season, you have to know, so it's a somewhat laboring job. Now, for you to become a farmer owner and also farmer, so how do you transition to learn all these skills, not only physical skill, physical working labor skill, but also business sense? So tell us a little bit.
From a lab rat to a ginseng rat. Yes, it has been quite transition. I grew up in a village in China, right, in Shandong province. But farming in China, traditional, very traditional, very very different from farming in the U.S., which involves lots of machinery, such as driving a tractor, and not to mention trying to fix tractor on the spot. Okay, that's a high calling for me. Uh, in Chinese, we say okay, 脑袋进水了 means your brain really mess up. You decide to switch from a scientist to a farmer. But being in Wisconsin or in the ginseng capital of America, it afforded me the opportunity to meet with other ginseng farmers or the general public who are deeply ingrained in the tradition of ginseng cultivation. In Chinese, Wisconsin is almost synonym to ginseng, or ginseng is the synonym to Wisconsin in China. So being in the center of ginseng cultivation, which we actually 95%, hear this, 95% of farm ginseng in America actually come from Marathon County. So I have the chance to learn from others. Of course, along the way, I met many good people who helped me learn from the very rudimentary skills. First of all, how to start a stall tractor in the middle of the field.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, and how to pump a big pole into the field without crushing my own fingers. All right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like 30 pounds of pressure. So try to do that without crushing my own fingers.
Are you always very handy, or are
Uh,
you just 书生?
well, I would say I have been hands-on from day one. Of course, I have helpers from along the way, farm managers, but I have been very proud to say, as a weeding, okay, I'm 4 times as fast as the next person to me.
As what? What's weedy?
4 times faster than the average person who weed in the garden.
Uh-huh.
So I can pull the weeds much faster than everybody else.
That's awesome.
Yes, I have to learn to drive tractor, right? I have to learn to fix a sprayer.
Uh-huh.
Of course, you have to learn to manage the soil on ginseng's affinity plants. About 13 years later, it changed my life. And so I got to meet you, right? People like you
Yeah. So
in
how
the
did
US and all over the world.
So, how does your wife, her role, is she very supportive of you moving to Wisconsin and started a farm? Does she do any farm with you?
Let me put this way, right? We have a saying, happy wife, happy life, right? In this case, happy husband, happy life. So she has been hands-on, but she has been very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time she went to see ginseng was like 3 or 4 years into ginseng cultivation. So yes, she has been instrumental in supporting my new chapter in my endeavors, financially and emotionally.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So tell us a little bit about. I know a lot of Chinese people they take ginseng. My mother loves to buy American ginseng. So what you farm is American ginseng, not Chinese ginseng. And what are the differences?
American ginseng, also known as Panax, Panax quinquefolius, right? It is unique or native to America. Chinese ginseng or Korean ginseng is called Panax ginseng. And they are like 2 different strains in the same species. They belong to the same family or same class. They have slight difference in terms of potency and indications. For example, we say traditionally it's believed Korean or Chinese red ginseng, right, are hotter than American ginseng, or American ginseng are cooler in nature. By cooling, we mean it has a calmer effects, not as dramatic or potent as Korean or Chinese red ginseng, which is good in a sense, allow us to take as a health tonic. Now we say Korean red ginseng or Chinese red ginseng are suited for recovery from a major illness. American ginseng are better suited for daily maintenance.
Like a vitamin.
Yes, well, of course, it is a dietary supplement. I would like to add a disclaimer, right? When we do this online, we say ginseng is regulated as a dietary supplement in the US, and it does not or is not intended to diagnose, prevent, or cure any diseases. But of course, in China, ginseng is a king herb. It does everything.
Right, right. So now you have been obviously taking ginsengs for all these years, and can you tell us a little bit like how much do you take? Like how much do you drink, or do you cook? How do you do that? How do you intake your ginseng
I
roots?
do all of those. I had to confess, I took half a shot of ginseng vodka before I came on the program. And I'm taking ginseng tea right now, okay?
Oh,
So that will help me relax myself, and I'm feeling it. My face is warm because it has effects for improve your vascular or microcirculation. So ginseng, any shape, size, or form is good for ourselves. I take mostly capsules for convenience. I pop like 2 capsules along with my compound vitamin B every morning, and then I take ginseng tea during the day when I in the office. But when I travel, right, I would like to chew a piece of ginseng when I drive.
yes, yes. That's my mom used to do. She chew on the American ginseng, right?
Yes, for example, right,
Yeah.
when I drive, right, I get a piece by my heart, right. I just
Okay. Uh-huh.
that because it's bittersweet, it keep you alert, right.
Mm.
If you have something in your mouth, you won't fall sleepy when you're driving.
Mm. Mm. Wow. That's great. That's great. So yeah, and in general, so ginseng, American ginseng is like a keep people's maintenance, and does it does it have like any equivalence of any vitamin like a C, D, A, B, whatever, or has everything?
It's it's a total different spectrum of action, right. Um, there are 2 major ingredients in ginseng. It is a ginsenoside and a ginseng polysaccharide or polysugar. Vitamin, are, on the other hand, are different. They are different. So you can take them along with vitamin. For example, ginsenoside may help relieve a headache or pain, or may help just to relieve or reduce your blood pressure by relaxing your blood vessels. Let's say when I take ginseng, right, or I see my clients taking ginseng, their cheek will blush. Why? Because the peripheral resistance or blood vessels will dilate, and that makes them look younger. And the face, because they blush, ladies look more beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's a natural makeup.
That's right. That's why ginsenoside has been used in cosmetics as well. So I would say it's a totally different mode of action than regular vitamins. And the polysaccharide is known to boost our immune function.
Hmm. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, do you have somewhere tell people where they can find you? I guess there's a website, right?
Yes, our own website called marathonginseng.com. Marathon is the marathon runner.
Hmm.
That's our own website, and
Hmm.
you can Google us or find us on Facebook.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, yeah, I would recommend our listeners to check Ming's website, and has a lot of beautiful pictures and all the articles about the ginseng and the history, and also, yeah, the news, what they do. And yeah, so now let's change the topic. So, I met you in 2020, January, in Iowa City, while you drove your truck. You decorate your truck as Yen 2020 to Iowa, and tell us a little bit, how did you get into this whole saga of yanning?
Once a young gun, okay, always a young gun. I had the good fortune of meeting Andrew as a keynote speaker at 2018 United Chinese American Convention held in DC. Yeah. He was a keynote speaker, and Andrew's speech really invigorated us to get involved and to contribute to this country we all love. So Andrew said, right, there's no reason why we can't do or lead or serve in this country.
Yeah. And then so during January, when I met you, is that like a low season for the farmer, right?
Exactly. Yes. January, our season, right, start from April to November. So January and February are off-season days, and I had the time to take a vacation in a sense, or to get involved in the grassroots democratic exercise. For me, it's a life-changing experience. As I grew up in China, right? I never experienced firsthand and grassroots democratic exercise like knocking on the doors, canvassing every day. It was more of education for myself, an eye-opening experience for myself to know rural America and average American, what they think, how they feel, and about politics or about themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm just showing a little bit about that episode.
Yeah, that's my good truck.
That's your truck. Not to the left, not to the right, but forward. Freedom dividend.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on $1,000 a month for myself.
Hi, Lee. How are you?
Well, I come to Iowa.
Thank you. The important thing is we need more people to cover the ground, right?
Yes.
So tell me how long you are going to be here.
It's off season for me on the farm, so I intend to stay here all the way till February 3rd caucus and leave on the 4th or 5th.
Awesome.
That was cold.
So yeah. Now, tell me what happened. Okay, I'm just making it a little high definition today at the lunch.
Well, I young people anywhere I see it, right? So
Dangerous man.
lunch, breaks, gas station, right? When I see a nice target, I will approach them with confidence because I'm trying to help him and help Andrew win the presidency in the process.
Yeah.
I'm totally in this, and I have full confidence Andrew is the best person for the 21st century.
Right. It's snowing right now. 我们说中文吧。
这是这个荷兰耶和华助选的这一周的
So
选
we
助
start
选
to
中，
speak Chinese.
在我印象中，亚裔或者华裔，
Then
我国情占
Ming
1/10。
started to canvassing the two
He wants
homeless
to.
person.
He wants to. Andrew Yang wants to give everybody.
We say
something
math
else.
on there. I like math.
Yeah.
Math is my favorite subject. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's called Make America Think Harder.
Whatever you give me. Oh, really? For me,
Yeah.
read it, but think hard.
Yeah.
另外一个非常聪明的一个人，对吧？他对美国社会。
So we're all speaking Chinese. All right. Thank you. Yeah. So that was great. So yeah.
Thank you, Jiang, for having that on the record.
Huh?
Thank you for recording that journey.
Yeah, that was great because I always see you drive that truck to our hotel where all the most young guns stayed in our city. So I said, oh, I want to come with you, right? And then one day, finally, I went with you and I shot us being together. And yeah, so this is part of that clip was used in the film My Yagandari. So now tell us a little bit about the organization United Chinese Americans, and they're going to have a convention on July 14th, yeah, in Washington D.C. So tell us who is the United Chinese Americans.
Thank you, Ching. I'm happy to introduce UCA as it's abbreviated, right? United Chinese American Inc., which is a non-partisan, non-profit organization. We have about 23 national chapters and many more community partners. It's encourage civic engagement for our community, which traditionally have been shy in taking part in the democratic exercises. And of course, at the same time, we want to protect our civil rights and make our contribution to this country we call home. So that's pretty much what it does. After a 4-year hiatus, we are going to hold the next convention, the third UCA National Convention, as well as the first Chinese American Youth Convention in DC, July 14th to the 16th. So hope to see you there, Ching. We're going to have a Young Gun night, and we're going to watch your movies, your documentary.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for your intro to me about the organization. Although I have already met some of the organizers, like Hai Pei. I met him in 2017 Women's March in Washington D.C., and then I met him some years ago when he come to New York City. So, what is the main sort of accomplishment you wanted to reach through this conference?
Our community or the country as a whole has suffered a lot with the pandemic, right? During this last 2 or 3 years, the community has encountered many unpleasant events. So the organization has been involved in the anti-Asian hate movement and has been an active contributor to make this country a better place. UCA sponsored Food of Love activities during the pandemic, in which hundreds of Chinese restaurants donated foods to police, to hospitals, to senior centers during the pandemic. Of course, many more donated millions of personal protective gear, such as masks and other things. We are trying to make this safe for everybody. In the process, we want to show that we care.
And this year is something very special that you included to have a youth conference as well, side by side with the grown-ups. So tell us a little bit about the background of having that event insert with the grown-ups. What do you try to accomplish?
Absolutely. Most founders of UCA are first-generation immigrants from China and other parts of Asia. We have our own experience, our background in Asia, and our outlook, our way of doing things may not fit this new land for us perfectly. But we would like the younger generation to get more involved in the civic engagement, contributing to the active, to the productivity or management of this country.
Yeah, indeed. I really, I think it's such a great idea that you wanted to educate or include the next generation for the cause, because I feel, in general, Chinese American, the community needs to be more involved in political cause, or not political means, volunteer work, social cause, and yeah, I think educating the next generation is such an important thing to do, because once the next generation, they are involved in this kind of work, and then their next generation will hopefully also taking that step, right? Because I think for many of us, including myself, um, like before Andrew Yang, I never really was involved with any political canvassing or work or volunteerism. So until then, and so yeah, so how do you feel that? Like, have you, before you got into a young gun, did you do any other that kind of a work?
You're right, Ching. Andrew Yang actually campaigned humanity first, invigorated or activated many of us first generation immigrants that we are learning and we are studying how to be an active participant in this civic society. Now, for the younger generation, they were born here and they are as American as everybody else. In a sense, our first generation need to learn from them, right? They are their way of doing things. They see things differently. So yes, to have this youth conference to educate or to show them what we're doing is one thing, and it also on the other hand is also allow us first generation or parents to observe and learn what the next generation are doing, right? The theme of this convention for the youth is forging national identity, forging their own identity. So they'll feel comfortable being Chinese or Asian American in this country.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about itinerary of the 3 days, and starts with July 14th, right? It's 14, 15, 16. Can you name a couple of highlights of the convention?
Of course, 14 is arrival day. Most people will arrive in the afternoons. We're going to have our congressional visits. Each group or each regional delegates would visit the congressional, their own congressional representatives in the Congress or in the Senate, and to express or to talk about things they are concerned with, or they are active participating in. So some project they are interested in. And that's very important, right, for us grassroots delegates to meet our representatives in DC. Now, in that later afternoon, we're going to have a congressional reception. About 10 or more congressional or representatives will show up at the reception. So give us a chance to talk to in person, in depth about things we're concerned about.
Yeah. So now it's going to be in where? Can you tell us specifically?
Yes, it's going to be held in the Omni Hotel in DC. Apparently, it's a beautiful facility. Right now, you can go visit uca.usa.org to check out the registration information on their hotels, links, and their events for youth and for adults. Of course, right now we have a scholarship for the youth participants that they can apply for to facilitate their travel. If you plan to come to the East Coast for visiting college or vacation, it's a great time to spend a day or 2 or 3 days with many people of similar background. Right now, we have about 150 young adults from high school all the way to college have registered for these events. And we expect 250 or more will join us by the time the convention opens. The other highlight would be UC Gala, which is a tuxedo event. All right, Ching, I'd love to see how you dress yourself for this gala.
I have no idea. Tell me more about that.
So Saturday, July 16th, I think
Yeah.
that's the gala dinner, right?
Yeah.
About 10 or more national awards will be given and during the dinner, and then 20 or more community service award will be issued to our heroes from all walks of life and all regions of life.
Wow. So it's like a very formal dress.
Yes.
Wow.
The
Wow.
program itself, of course, one is a civic engagement, one is to protection of civil rights, such as issues involve China initiative that was ended by the Justice Department, and we have many occasion to talk about mental health that affects our community, about parenting, about how we approach or teach our kids, our children. And then we have a session for how to make money, entrepreneurship. So yes, it has a section for everybody. Hopefully, you will join us if you're listening. And these are issues that concern our community as well as the country.
Is the conference going to be speaking Chinese or English?
This will be English, mainly English, and sometimes you may have bilingual translation. Actually, I think there will be a real-time translation service.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I shouldn't miss the one major community event, that is community showcase. We have about 50 or more organizations registered for this event. Basically, each community would present their favorite or successful program to other participants to share the experience in civic engagement, community service, as well as democratic participation. So it's a great time for our members to learn what other people are doing in different parts of the country and to learn from each other.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about when you mentioned about mental health and how does I wanted to also, before I say that, Shark Fin asked a question, says, Ming asked you a question, aren't ginseng and ginger root part of the same family, or am I way off?
Well, many Americans can't tell ginseng and ginger apart, right? My joke usually is because my family name is Ginger. So yes, you can't tell ginseng from ginger apart. No, they're totally different family, all right? Ginger actually it's not a perennial. Well, you can grow from the same year, but ginseng is a multi-year root. Takes at least 3 to 4 years on the farm, or 10 to 20 in the wild to mature. For ginger root, on the other hand, they'll mature within 1 year, and they taste differently. By the way, we are making a ginger flavored ginseng gummy for you.
So tell us a little bit when you talk about mental health, right? And I understand you at one point suffer depression because the environment you are at doesn't see sun very much, and a lot of Americans, a lot of people all over the world is suffering that. So can you tell us a little bit how you overcome that? How does ginseng help people, helping them coping depression?
Yes, depression and other mental illness, right, affecting lots of the population, in particular younger generation of Chinese American, because they face different pressures in school, at home, due to generation gap as well as cultural gap, right? Now, UCA has been funded by Robert Wood Johnson for a clinical scholarship program with Lady Chen as a leader, and Dr. Chen from Harvard Medical School and others be part of this program. They have toured the country to different communities, educating about parenting, about kids, how to understand our next generation, and the expectation, right? It's different. How to let our second generation live the way they want, not the way we want. Talking about my own personal experience about depression, right? I have a seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD. Why? I'm at the 45th parallel, and we don't see sun much from November to April. Like we may have a half a foot of snow on the ground still by end of April, so we don't see much of sunlight. Of course, I found that out when the first 2 years when I moved to Madison, Wisconsin, that every January or February, my life was miserable. And ginseng, of course, is one that helped me overcome the depression. And of course, working in the open air in nature, right? Like my suntan, as you can see, totally changed my lab rat life. So that gave me a great boost in terms of my mental state, how I see things. Of course, with a supplement of vitamin D during the winter time, or go out canvassing for Andrew, right? Cheers you up instead of hole in Wisconsin with nothing else to do outdoors. Yes, UCA has been instrumental in bringing the issue of mental illness to the awareness of our community. And it's in this session, we're going to have professionals from all over the country discussing mental health to our participants or to all those who listen or hear online.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. So I think it's good that UCA has been talking about this issue of mental health, and especially I think when pandemic, the last 2 years people went through pandemic, that is making the mental issue even more severe than before, right? So I was wondering, during the pandemic time, how do you coping with your business, and how do you distribute your functional? How did you tell us a little bit about your struggle, or you're not struggling, or you're doing great?
Well, I wish that's the case. With the pandemic and the lockdown of international travel, right, and China is still locked down, it has made us realize we are actually in the tourism business. The industry suffered when the pandemic hit. In a sense, retail sale actually dropped by 50 to 80%.
Wow.
Across board. So it has been hard on the for ginseng farmers and as well as retailers as well. Now, things are looking better right now. We're hoping that the current administration, who I thought President Biden is going to talk to Chinese president this weekend regarding tariff relief by reducing tariff, which right now is about 35 to 40%, exporting to China, and that has been dampened, if not a killer, for our business. And of course, we're looking forward to when China or other Asian market opens up. Right now, we have a trade show in Taiwan, actually, headed by our team in Taiwan. So it has been a struggle. It's a 30, 40-year low. Of course, many other industries experience the same depression due to this unexpected pandemic.
So how is your distribution goes? Does your ginseng product goes to China, or you go different parts of the world? Can you tell us a little bit?
Absolutely. The American ginseng industry, in particular in Wisconsin, traditionally export 70 to 80% to Asia, in particular China. So that's on the wholesale level. Of course, on the retail, it's about the same ratio. Now, the pandemic tells us, yes, majority of our retail sales inside the U.S. actually end up in China by tourists or people like us who travel from the U.S. to China to see our relatives. So that's the traditional way. We are exploring new markets. We have 300 million Americans here, right? So we are making formulas and products that make it easier for people to enjoy ginseng. Ginseng has an earthy taste, which the Asian community love. But for the average American, its earthy taste is overpowering, and that is unique to Wisconsin. It's considered higher quality stuff, bitter sweet taste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wonderful. So now, right now the pandemic now is kind of hopefully is the end of this very end, and do you see your business picking up?
so far this year, because China and Taiwan, other Asian market, right, has been restricted, or Hong Kong for that matter, our sales hasn't been has been up, but we see we're going to see revenge buying in once this pandemic is over. By that I mean most people have background or relatives in China, having been able to make to China or Hong Kong or Taiwan in the last 2 or 3 years. So I foresee in the next 6 months, our business will rebound into twofold or even more going forward.
Ming, your audio is a little bit funny right now.
Is it?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah, okay, great. So thank you. Speaking of, my Yangon Diary is going to show at the convention the first night. And do we have rumors that Andrew Yang will make a intro speech?
Well, Andrew, if you are watching, right? So we're going to invite you to talk to us at 9:30 p.m. July 14th. All right, after the congressional reception. So hopefully we're going to see many Yangans join us offline or online, and we're going to have watch Ching's movie, and of course we're going to serve beers to our attendants.
That's wonderful. So I'm going to show a 1 minute 44 second of trailer to us. Okay. So, and I am going to actually take myself out of the
Tells you why he's different and why that's good and why it goes to the question of electability.
I am that candidate. I can build a much broader coalition to beat Donald Trump.
I grew up in Shanghai, China, and I studied violin and viola. I left home at 17, joined Chinese Army Orchestra. In those days, that was one of the best career moves for many musicians.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
UBI is freedom.
Show me what democracy looks like! Not left, not right, but forward!
That's Israel. He's keep walking to another house.
You get off my fucking property. You have no right being on my fucking property. You Chinese people go back to fucking China.
You do have to have certain preparations in your mind.
We want Yang! We want Yang!
I wrote it. Andrew Yang.
This is not the end.
You brought me back from being too far gone.
Thank you, Ching.
We're the study of people awarding hypothetical scholarships.
Sorry. Hi.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, it was the most incredible experience to see young and old people, right, from all walks of life, converge in Iowa or New Hampshire, and people are attracted or have been attracted by the ideas of humanity first or human-centered capitalism, all the way from Europe, Asia, to Iowa. It was more of an education for myself than the other way around.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I have never seen anything like that in my whole life. Seeing people so passionate about this, movement, and not just Andrew Yang, right? A lot of people, of course, they like him and they like his policies, but I was very, very moved by people actually. So I just kept shooting and kept documenting. And so, speaking of one of his most important, I guess, policy, the UBS, UBI, not UBS, UBI. What do you think personally? Do you think are we going to ever reach that goal?
I have been pressing every politician when I meet them, okay, him or her. What is your take on universal basic income? Now, this pandemic may be a real life experience or pilot testing of how feasible or how practical that can be done. During the pandemic lockdown, right, people's income gets frozen or cash flow stops. The same thing when in the future or as happening when automation takes the job away from many working people. So I see, as proposed by Andrew and other entrepreneurs like Elon Musk or Zuckerberg, there's no other way, just because many things will be automated away to keep us happy, to keep us society not split or polarized. We need a basic income so that people can relax and enjoy their life and doing what they like or love. Yes, I am for it. Of course, we need to fine tune it, see where the revenue is going to come from and how it's going to be distributed. Right now, the system, right, penalize for people who seek extra work. If you're on a welfare system, you can't work more than it's allowed, and that is a negative stimulus to our economy. So I'm for it. Hopefully, get realized in our lifetime.
Yeah, thank you. So, what do you think? I'm gonna ask a question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. And Andrew Yang left the Democrat Party October the 5th, 2021. And how do you feel about it? How do you feel about being a forwardist, or are you a forwardist?
Well, I still have forward rep in the back of my truck. Okay, when I
whether or not you're selling a truck.
I don't have a strong opinion one way or another. Of course, I understand the rationale for this forward party. That is, right now this country is so polarized. A few percentage of people decides which way the country is will go. So that is dangerous, or it's not healthy for our democracy. I see as how far the forward party can impact our future democracy. We have to wait and see. I sure hope the idea that a third party or independence that will move the agenda to the center of the political spectrum and not polarize, which allow politicians to cater to the extreme fraction of their constituency.
Yeah, that's so well said. Now today there's just this morning, late morning, there's a news from the Supreme Court that they reversed, Roe v. Wade. How do you feel about that?
I think the Roe and Wade has been there for 50 years. Must be for a good reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are friends on the conservative circle telling me this morning that now the law is back to the state level. The fact of the matter is, it has stayed at the federal level for 50 years. It means it has its own validity or authority to help this country or help women in particular, right, decide what their reproductive freedom is. Mm-hmm. Now, once back to the state level, different states may have different interpretation of laws, and that makes it harder for average person or for women to decide about their choices. So I think I'm pro-choice. Is that a good idea to send back to the state? I don't think so.
Thank you. It's going to be quite a struggle, quite a fight, and yeah, I see so many voices out there, and we'll see what happens. So we're almost 5:40, 5:50. I sometimes do a oh yeah, I want to thank our audience. Peter is a young gun. He's here. I want to thank also Sharkfin, which is my friend I met on Clubhouse, Mark and Louis, and thank all of you. And you are here, but you are not writing anything, but I know you are there listening to us. And I usually, when I beforehand, I do a little game with my guest. It's called
That's a surprise.
Rapid Fire. You wanna do it with me?
Okay, let's see if my ginseng is sharp enough.
Okay, rapid fire means quick question, quick answer. Okay. You're a little off the center. Can you make yourself a little? Yeah, thank you. All right. So, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Green. Okay.
Yeah.
When you go to Chinese restaurant, what do you order? What dish do you like the most?
Mapo tofu.
Mapo tofu. Yeah. Are you a good cook?
I'm a good barbecue person. I make good dumplings, all right? No, I'm not a good person.
Good. Dumpling is good. Yeah. So now, have you read any books you really like recently?
I'm reading Daliu's recent book on the fall and rise of empires. Okay. Of course, I was also following the campaign managers, Young's campaign manager, his book.
Yeah. So now I know you're very busy as a farmer, and also do you play around with the social media, and which one do you play the most?
Actually, I don't.
You don't?
Yeah, no.
I see you on WeChat a lot.
Okay, I take that back. TikTok, and okay, in America, right? In America, Facebook. In Chinese social media, Douyin or Chinese TikTok. Yes.
No. WeChat.
WeChat.
Do you do Douyin? Really?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I can't even download Douyin. I don't think I can download Douyin.
I'll show you how.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a TikTok account.
Yes, I publish every other day or every day on WeChat about or Douyin about what's going on with our farmers' life.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So, what is your model that how do you raise your son? You have a beautiful son.
Thank you. You can see him in the back, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that guy, Li Xiaolong, Bruce Lee.
I'm not sure I have a model, but I sure hope our sons or daughters will do enjoy life the way they wish to. Now, as a first generation, we didn't have many choices in terms of a career. Of course, I did, which has been fortunate. Career or way of life. So it's up to them to decide what's best for them.
Do you eat junk food? Which are your junk food?
I'm a keto person. Yes. I just had my deep fried fish fry for lunch today.
You make compensation of taking ginseng, very healthy, and then you can eat junk.
Exactly. Ginseng is a blood thinner. It's an energizer. So yes, ginseng helps resolve or dissolve some of the fat.
Yeah, that's great. So now, what do you see yourself in 5 years?
I hope this country, right, won't be polarized. Myself will be a old farmer retiring, sitting in the middle of ginseng field, admiring my product. Is there worry about which way this country is going or will be going?
Thank you. Great. And do you do a lot of traveling internationally? If you do, which country you really like to revisit or visit?
Yeah, right. Normally, we do many international travels. As a matter of fact, I would love to visit Europe. in Iowa caucus, right? I was supposed to leave February 8th for Italy, but the pandemic killed that plan. I just signed up for the USDA trade mission to France, Paris, for September. Yes, I look forward to visit Europe 30 years later.
Wow, that's great. Now, if you just drink ginseng whiskey, right? Any other alcohol, when I take you to a bar, what would you order?
I'll have a bottle of Wisconsin-produced Spotted Cow beer. You can't buy anywhere else but in Wisconsin. Spotted
Really?
Cow, yes.
That's
I'll
interesting.
treat you to a dozen when you come to Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Along with cheese curd, all right?
Yeah, Cheetos, right? Is that what? Oh,
No, cheese curd, Wisconsin specialty. You have
Yeah,
bean curds, now you have cheese curds.
Oh, cheese curd. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Well, what is your wife like?
She's, she was actually she was my medical school classmate and graduate school classmate. She's a physician taking care of pain. All right, she's a spine specialist right here serving the local community. Yes, she's been hardworking and she's a very good-hearted person.
Wow, you're lucky. You both are in similar profession and yeah, so supportive of each other. So wonderful. Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you so
thank
much. And last question: coffee or tea?
Of course, tea. Either ginseng tea or green tea, right? I'm producing a green tea with ginseng, so let's enjoy this.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I mean, do you have anything I have not touched asking you? Do you have anything you want to shout out?
Of course, I would like to thank Ching for giving me this opportunity to talk to everybody online. I have been very grateful for the opportunities this country has afforded my family. We have produced 2 doctors, one real businessman, and of course, 1 ginseng farmer. Yes, we have been very, very grateful. Of course, we hope this country, everybody enjoy their life and won't be as polarized in 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Ming.
Thank you, Jing.
Dr. Jiang, and it's great to talk to you. And I'm sure we're gonna have so much fun in July during the conference. And thank you for introducing to me about the conference. You're the one I need to thank for. And then one thing after another. So hopefully people will enjoy my Yangon Diary at the convention, right? Hopefully the film will touch some people's heart, and hopefully people will be more care about grassroots movement and volunteerism, right?
Yes, let's go Yangon, right? Once Yangon, always Yangon. Okay, humanity first.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jing. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the weekend.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. I'm going to say goodbye to our audience.